me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Saturday morning, and we're just going to test everything we can on the system. It seems to have rebooted. We think we found an issue with the cable, so hopefully that's sorted out our issue with the camera. We are going to just keep going until it starts playing up. If it starts playing up, then we'll obviously drop out. But we'll see how it goes. We've got 2 cameras set up again as normal.
Yeah.
That is going to carry on making some cards and some bits ready, same as she did from yesterday. So if you do want to have a chat, ask any questions, feel free, we're here.
Give them input if you want to.
Yeah, input to the cards if you think that would look nice or you don't like that. You know.
We won't do polls for this one, just
all the usual bits, you know.
yeah, just to keep this one simple.
Yeah. So I'm here doing the comments, and I'll pass you over to Natalie to carry on with the cards.
Okay, so carrying on from yesterday, I used the corner die with the embossing sandwich. So I literally have just embossed this. So you may find, if your card's a bit thin, you may find it actually comes through. So you may want to just pop a little bit of an insert in that just to finish it off. But before removing the die after embossing, I then inked up both the die and off the diagonal edge. I've scored my card. It's a 7-inch adaptable from Lime Tree, and I've scored it at 4 3/4 inches, and again at just over 10. So if you want that in metric, it is 12.2 centimetres and 13.5. And the idea being that we're going to make this little trifold card, but in a bit I'm actually going to separate this out, so we're actually going to have a bookmark that somebody can take out.
So question. Tracy wants to know if she can mix translucent gesso with alcohol ink.
Not necessarily mix it. You could treat your surface with the clear gesso first and then drop the ink once it's dried. I'm not sure if it was still wet, whether the two might interact. I might be a suck it and see. Just if you are mixing things, just make sure you have your windows well vented, just in case. Alcohol inks, it's always advised to have at least one window open anyway, just because of the fumes.
And Carol says, morning, I'm a little bit late, sorry miss.
That's okay. We weren't even certain that we were going to stream today when we woke up, but the router had gone down, hadn't it? So it was like, oh, perhaps that was the issue. So it's all had a reset, and yeah.
Just popped the cable out, man.
Yeah, because then when we were testing it, the test locked up too. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so for this next session, I'm going to be using the Gemini cupcake stamp, just for Tracy, because she wanted a cupcake last night. And I'm also pulled out a couple of sheets of pattern paper for this card. So these are both from Paper Boutique. And I still have a sheet of our pink card that we were using yesterday.
How do
you what? What? Copy the...
One second.
That's good. You need to go back out of the edit. Or open a new tab.
Open new tab.
Open a new tab, it's easier.
Okay.
It's okay, we have somebody else who would like to join the
somebody
stream.
would like to join the screen and wants to know where they find it, so I just need to find the video on. So bear with me for the video for a second, I will be back to comment briefly.
Okay. So I'm just going to pop my pink card into my trimmer, and I just want a little edging strip that's going to go along the bottom here. So that mirrors our little strip that we're going to do there. So yes, you can see that our designs will change on the fly and go, oh well, actually if I'm going to do cupcake instead, because the pink didn't come out the right colour for the cocktail one, so we'll come back and do that again at some point, because I want to show you some cocktails.
Right, done that. Right, I'm back.
Okay, so I'm just going to lay that along our edge, and you can either choose to wrap your card around, which gives you the neater finish but messier back, if that makes sense, or you can just trim. Go on.
Carol says, hope you've sorted it out. I'm still having trouble with my drains and the R on my keyboard is wonky.
Wonky?
It's probably come loose out of the housing.
Usually they click back on.
Yeah, I would suggest taking it off and putting it back in.
If you can't get it off easily, you may have an IT buddy that has a key lifter rather than having to get one. You can get like a little specialist power tree that go bonk. So it just gets underneath, or if you've got like the pliers that have the little claw thing, just to get around the sides of the key and just give it a bit of a lift.
Try pushing down on it a little bit harder than usual, it might just click back into place.
Okay. So
when doing it off, obviously, well, you just get lots of R's on your screen. Yeah, it's a pirate keyboard. Oh, and Jen's joined us as well, says good morning.
Good morning. You're just thinking, did I tell Mum I was going to go live?
No.
Oops, I'll be in trouble. I'll be in trouble anyway for streaming with a headache, but nah. It's a bit better. The painkiller seems to be working a bit quicker today.
Ah, good.
So that's got to be something. Considering all I've got is ibuprofen until later.
Yeah. That's alright, don't worry. Because I just keep trying to push it back in, but getting on my nerves now. So if I don't spell right, it's probably that. So.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lift and reseat by the sounds of it. Basically, they have like two little clippy bits, don't they? And by the sounds of it, if one's gone a bit wonk, you just need to and get it back level so that you can get it back down straight. What's that?
Susan says, do I have to join as it's not doing anything when I click it? Shouldn't have to be, you don't have to be a group member of the group, it's public, isn't it?
Where did you share it from? From the group or from the page?
Plannercraft on the page.
No, you shouldn't have to join. That's odd. Just put in the link to the main page then, so just go to www.facebook.com/Plannercraft.
Okay. Tracy asked if you still got the same headache.
Yes. It goes away and it comes back and it goes away and it comes back, and then this morning it really came back. But I think I slept quite heavy last night. Plus I fell asleep on the sofa, which wasn't a good idea. So next I'm going to do my pattern panel. So to do this I'm just going to give myself a couple of reference points. So I'm going to just draw a little mark on my card where it overlaps. And then I can actually work inside of that. So I'm going to go for a little bit of space at the bottom and twice the space over here, and then I can just mark it at the side there, like so. And go for twice the space at the bottom to what I want, and then I can mark it at the top. go too far, I'll put my staple back in. Slowly getting through the staples. So I'm going to line my pencil mark up with my cut line on my trimmer. There we go. How's it holding at the moment then, Ian?
Seems to be okay. Should we change the swap camera and see if it, cause that's when we used to lose it if we swapping cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's try the close-up camera for a bit and then we'll go back. And
Yeah. Probably a better angle at the moment for this one actually. I'm just going to... Now the 3D PDA is quite stiff, so on this thinner paper you're going to want to either use a glue spreader to kind of flatten your peaks out and your glue, or you can just use a brayer to actually adhere your page down once you've applied it. So I'm going to go straight to my page.
there's a very simple answer to that one, Carol. We couldn't find a pin. Not one that was thin enough to go into the fine glue applicator anyway, so that's why we use a staple instead of a pin.
Yeah, it's too fine. It's that finer detail point that actually it's too fine for like a paper clip. It's too fine for a safety pin or any of the other things that we could find.
Yeah, and the staple was anything we could find that would fit, so that's why we took a staple in.
So I'm just going to grab my little eraser, get rid of any pencil marks. Okay. So far so good. Now I'm going to need 2 sets of my cupcake image. Take the big la, 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 la. Eat more legs.
Hey, Susan made it. Hi, Susan.
Welcome to the group. We're a friendly bunch.
Oh yeah? Susan was the lady I was trying to help to get into the group because we couldn't find the feed, so she's here.
There we go. So. I think with this one, because it's so soft for the rest of the colours, rather than stamping in black, I'm going to stamp in grey. So sometimes grey ink will actually give you the better finish. Let me move it back out the way. My desk is already getting a mess.
There then.
Yeah, Saturday's usually tidy day, isn't it?
I should pull you down out of the way.
Yeah.
Because they keep falling off there.
So I'm going to use the Memento grey flannel ink.
Hey! Carol says she used to erase on the Japanese happy birthday that she smudged the copy ticket.
Yep, perfect.
They are good, the electronic ones. The battery ones.
They're fantastic. They're really useful. And they're good for if you've got like if you use a Xyron or something like that, you tend to get like the spare adhesive around the outside. So if you've lost your adhesive eraser, you can actually use your electronic one in place of it.
And Tracy and Carol have both said hello to Susan. Welcome to the group.
Okay. As I said, we're a friendly bunch. Little family, aren't we now?
Yeah.
And we play it up constantly.
Yeah. But if you do have any questions, Susan, don't be afraid to put them in the comments. So we'll try and answer. It doesn't have to be related to what Natalie's doing, it can be...
Yeah, if you want to ask me questions about cutting card, feel free. Or how to check your blade. Some things are just easier done by video, aren't they?
Yeah. We can even find a blade to have a look at if you...
Yeah, there's one in the machine. So
there we go. We have our scan and cut on the desk, so we can always nick the blade out of it and show you how to check it just to make sure.
Okay, just missed a bit there. It may just be that I missed a bit there. That's why I love a stamp platform, you see, because if you miss bits with ink, you can just top it up. Come on. I know I've inked you. I know you'll stamp because you've stamped there. There we go. Come on. You're going to make me use all my body weight. Yeah.
Not put enough welly behind it.
Apparently not on this one a little bit. But it's not fine over here. Perhaps my platform's starting to go a bit. Getting there. That'll do. Just as long as when I colour it I make sure it's bold enough colour, it should be fine. Because the plan is I'm going to scan this and cut it out. Just for a bit of...
Or... Want to use your scan and cut?
Yeah. I'd like to.
Carol says give it some welly.
Give it some welly. Platform. Sometimes I'll colour with it still on the platform, but for this one. And you can do some funky techniques with the stamp platforms, where you can do abstract colouring, which is something we haven't done on a live stream yet. So I might just do that this week. But I'm going to do at least one day where I'm going to concentrate on mobile apps as well, just so that we're covering all the bases. And let's see, what should I go for today to colour with?
Oh, I feel like Catherine Zeta-Jones on Entrapment. Oh.
What I will do is I'll do a little bit of watercolour pencil just on this top bit, and then I can just test it to make sure it's not going to bleed.
Okay, Cara says I need all the help I can with the scan and cut. Hubby is wanting to help lol. I said the settings are wrong. He said it's the blade as it tears card or paper.
Yeah, if you're finding it's tearing a lot of card and it's a lot of different card, 9 times out of 10 it will be a blade.
But we can turn that camera to there so
Yeah,
we can show our settings. And
you can. Do you want to do that quick while I
I'll
quickly
put
colour?
I'll swap the camera over.
Can you pass me the ink tents on your way over?
Yeah. So you're on this one at the moment.
Cool, okay. Lovely ink tents. So I'm going to go for a sort of pink. I'm going to go for a maybe that blue. Yeah, that kind of looks like. Ink tenses are always, like they say, intense, so you tend to end up going for your lighter colours more often than any other. Yeah. And go for that one. So, out of my collection, I've pulled a carmine pink, which is a nice, I would say soft pink, but there's no such thing as soft with ink tints. It's all down to how much water you put on them. I have the dark aquamarine, the spring green, and an oak. And there's one really important colour I haven't put out.
White.
Yellow ochre. Because we need a sponge cake colour, don't we?
We do.
Let's go for that one. Maybe.
Right. Ooh. I wonder.
Because I can use my oak to tame it down a bit.
I thought Natalie's full set cost a bit. Yeah, did, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, she wants everything this morning. Yeah, including me doing entrapment moves as I have to get around the property.
It's funny watching him.
So let's see if I can.
So, start with your darkest colour first, because that gives you somewhat of a margin for error. I'm just going to cut it in on the shaded areas of the cherry first.
That's the one I want for a minute.
Do one, and then if you like it, replicate it straight away on the other one.
So in this one I want. Ooh, that was good.
Okay, just because this is going to be wanting to be really dark, we can actually work our pencil straight into the damp paper.
I'm ready to go to scan and cut when you're ready, dear. So
Feel free, go for it.
I'll let you do it. You're good on scan and cut. So, we have our scan and cut on the desk. So I'll swap the camera over so you can see it. I've got it zoomed in up on the screen for you, just so it's there. And we can even do a quick segue into the competition in a moment, just so have a refresh. There we go. So, we have our power button in the usual place. Let's get the right side, doing this backwards. Turn it on. We're taking the blade out.
There you go. And ta-da!
Okay. So what we were just saying, well, just last night, always take the blade out when you start your machine up. Load your mat. Unloading the mat's not so much, but when you load the mat, certainly take it out. The reason being, when it first starts up and it does its little judder. Go on, Matt, carry on for me.
It does that.
And when it does that, it stands a chance of chipping your blade.
Yeah, so you, careful.
Told you, put your picture back to.
So you don't want to be doing that with your blade in place at all. So if you are worried that you have a chipped blade, you can unscrew the cap. It is spring loaded, so you do want to go careful. And if your eyesight is a bit bad like mine, you can take a picture and zoom in for this. But basically, if you hold it up against a white piece of paper, what you're looking for is a nice sharp point.
Thank you.
As long as you've got that nice sharp point, you know your blade's not chipped. The other thing is, if you're finding that when you're cutting your blade is slipping from say 5 to 3, you'll see I've got some PTFE tape around my screw thread. I'm probably not holding that high enough. Oh, it's locked up. I don't know. Because you're delayed to me. So I'll do that again, just in case you didn't see. You know what? I'll do it from there.
Yeah, I'll touch it still goes.
Okay, so just there. You can see that it's a nice sharp point. The PTFE tape is around here. You don't want to use anything that is sticky. That. Okay, so when you screw your cap back on, you want to take it all the way past 12 and then go back to where you would usually cut. Now, if I do a lot of card, ranging from the thin card to the thick card, but pretty much I will be in the 5 to 7 range for most card. Okay, so when we pop the blade in, bear in mind I haven't loaded the mat, so when I come to load my mat, I'll take the blade back out if I'm being good. If we go into settings and go to our cut speed and pressure, cut speed, make sure it's at 1, so you're giving your blade plenty of time to turn. So your blade is actually suspended in sort of a force field of magnets, if you can kind of picture that. And the analogy we use is a shopping trolley wheel. So if you think of a shopping trolley wheel, it pivots, try and get my fingers in the right, pivots round a point. So what you don't want to do is just across. So by slowing your speed, you're stopping that kind of skidding. Your cut pressure, when I first had my machine, it was on -2 to get a decent cut. But then with the next update, it went down to -4. So you do have to constantly adjust your pressure to suit. Usually what I say is when you're setting pressure, do it to the design that you are working on and not the material. So if your design is really intricate, you want to reduce your pressure down. If it's just a basic shape, you can stick as it is or maybe put it up a bit. Okay? But pressure is definitely by design.
Did I open that?
What?
Something you might want to show.
Something I might want to show. Is it a surprise? I didn't think anything else was mats. Ah, mats are here. Yay! So these better not go on screen. No. Behave. He's being naughty again. You'll have to smack his legs. So where was I? Pressure. So if you find that your cut isn't cutting through the material, then put your blade up. But if you're finding that when you do a corner, so let's say you're doing a sharp corner like so, but instead of going sharp, it's actually going round and you get like a pulled bit here that looks like a rounded bottom triangle, and that means your pressure's too high. And I can't see your comments at the moment, so I will have to get in to have a look at those in a minute.
It's open if you want to take them out.
Okay.
And open the bathroom door for you.
Lovely. Oh. So the long one's the one I can't show, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Hang on. So we have, and usually what I do is I leave these out to flatten out for a bit. Yeah, usually these ones arrive flat, but if you order them with a 12x24, they come with a curve. So the trick is to just let them sit and rest somewhere with something on top just to flatten them back out. And I'll very quickly do what I do. So hand in the centre of the mat and just peel the backing paper off. It's just where it's stretched around as it's rolled. So this is a brand new Artie Sticks mat. And they are well worth investing in. Well worth investing in. Because they will They don't necessarily increase the life of your machine the way that you might expect, but they increase your patience with the machine. It's a good way of putting it, because they keep their stick for much longer. Yeah, if anybody wants a mat that hasn't got one, I do have a 10% discount code that we can share. So, just quickly do this one too. No, you probably can't see this, so I'm in the middle of that. There we go. And I store my mats hanging, so just a trouser hanger, and just let them drop back out again. Oh. So let's stack these mats. Rubber mats. Oh, mats. So we literally have a hook on the back of our door that is just mats. There we go. Mats on.
You're going to hang those ones up as well?
Yeah, I've redone the backing papers as well, so I'll let those drop out for a bit and then.
Okay. Right, have it loose.
There we go. Right.
Oh.
So I've done pressure, speed, blade setting. The only card that I found that I really can't get on with is variable scoreable. Does not like that for me at all. Okay, so that's given time for my pencil to dry, but just in case, I'm just going to give it a little scribble and just make sure that it's dry.
Carol was saying that they couldn't see, but that was when we were playing with the thing. Do you want to go back to that one now?
Yes, please.
And then I'll put that back so it's back around there.
Yeah, and if you want to carry on helping Susan out as well.
If Susan wants to let me know if that's answered her questions or if there's any
Or if
other...
it's helped.
If it's helped, if not, or if there's any other questions she'd like us to answer.
Okay.
So you're not like them, so I'll just watch over to the camera.
So I'm just pulling in a bit of colour from the edges. So with colouring we want to suggest the roundness of the shape, so your darker points are always going to be on the outside, and then when we come lighter into the middle we give that instant view of it looking round. And we can still put in a little bit just there where our cherry's gone in.
I'll just zoom that back out now.
Get the best view and just round the bottom we can just in a little bit of
I'm
colour.
just going to check that on transitions to see how that looks.
So if you do this bit with a nice blunt pencil, then you'll keep your colour softer.
Carol says she's liking the Artistics mat, not used the new ones that came in the machine. They are good, the Artistics, I must admit.
I mean, at the time when we first got our Artistics mat, I was streaming on a weekly basis, and I would end up having to strip my mat every week, and it was just getting too much, wasn't it?
Yeah. So. No, that looks good. So, let's swap that back. I don't want to change it. So excuse me chuttering to myself over here.
So because we've used that aquamarine just to put that shadow on the cherry, you want to go careful you don't touch it with your brush backs. with this next one, I'm going to go blue. Now, like I said, this is quite strong, so I'm going to only use the littlest amount of this aquamarine. So, nice light touch.
Let me know which camera you prefer. If I swap the camera over now, back to the close-up, let me know if you like that one better or the overhead.
I'm going to do the same down here. Maybe a little bit more blue, so it's a bit deeper. I'm just going to put some along this bottom edge. And a bit just around there. So you can see I'm getting a bit stronger, a bit more pressure with, I'm popping this in here.
There you go. I prefer the overhead while you're close up there because your hand's in the way.
Yeah, sorry, I can't colour left-handed. Not yet, I'll have to practice that one.
And your mummy's now watching.
Hi Mum, I know I didn't tell you that I was going to stream. I'm naughty. Well, we hadn't decided, had we, to be fair. And I was talking to Mum. Might have been I was talking to Mum, the internet hadn't gone down yet either. Naughty internet. So you can see just how vibrant this blue actually is. So, save the darkest bits for around the base of this cake. I'm just going to pull it round. So,
Okay, thank you, Susan. Hopefully that's it. If you have any problems, just drop us a message and we're about, so we'll always come back to you.
this one's going to be darker. We're going to change it up a bit on the other cakes, so I'm going to put in a bit of this blue around here, and because I want this to supposedly be a white icing, I'm going to use very little, just to give the hint of a colour rather than using grey or black, because that would just look wrong. Could use a soft yellow if you wanted to. I'm going to take this right out, like so.
Carol says that's so good they actually look like buns.
Colouring is the one thing I love to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love to draw and paint as well, but I tend to get a bit lazy and I can just colour stamps instead. And even that's probably just a bit too strong still, so I might just go back in with white maybe. Gonna pop a bit more. Just there. And I'm going to go to the pink on this middle section.
Did you mention competition?
No, I didn't. Do you want to?
I think Susan's gone now. pencil with the brush on the end is an eraser one, so it's there so you can wipe away the rubbings once you've rubbed something out. So it's like a brush just to clean you.
Or if you've been using coloured pencils and they're the sort that like to crumble, it's good for that too. The only thing I don't recommend using it on is graphite pencils because it tends to smudge them a bit. Okay, so with my icing I'm just going to come back into the damp and just do this bottom edge just so it looks like it actually joins the cake. Go away, Siri. I did not say Siri, I said cake. How many can you get confused?
It wasn't the delivery we were expecting.
No. Well, I wasn't expecting a delivery, to be fair.
No. Oh, we are, but not till later.
Yeah. I forgot they were coming actually. Oh dear.
That's another 2 new mats then.
Yeah.
I think one of those other ones is for the DX to test as well.
Okay, that's okay. We can do that. So we'll do a bit of streaming with the DX this week as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It's starting to feel a little lonely in the front room again.
Yeah. So we'll bring it back out. And we can do some fun things with that. Nearly bought something else on Facebook the other day. Somebody was selling the embossing kit. I was like, do I, don't I? Just to test it out.
Just to play.
Yeah. Even though I do it differently. Okay, now I need to colour my sponges. I'm just going to blend that out. And there we go.
Yes, the actual way they operate is very, very similar. There's not a lot you can't do with a CM that you can do with a DX or vice versa.
Just all the buttons are in different places.
Buttons are in different places, and how you get to different screens are slightly different. But apart from that, they're the same.
Who's
What they
asking
actually
that
do.
one?
Carol.
Yeah, so there's very little reasonable differences there between the two.
No.
So
Noise is a big one.
we get asked a lot if it's worth upgrading if you've already got a 900 or a 700.
And to be brutally honest, unless it's broken and not working, the answer's no.
So I'm going to go with this one a bit darker, so this can be a nice chocolate cake on this one.
just fallen over in the hallway. So it's still worth watching the screening for my new. Oh yes, yeah, for your new 900.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there won't be anything on there you won't be able to do on your 900 account.
To be honest, I think all our streams are worth watching. Because 9 times out of 10 we'll start off doing one thing and then we end up going off on a tangent after a question or something, don't we? So let's go for another chocolate one down here, shall we?
Okay, I'll have to get on to.
Yeah, because it's alright, isn't it?
It seems to be.
Yeah, so it's the cable then. Oh well.
But it seems odd that it's just. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I love chocolate, there's going to be another chocolate one.
You put a lemon one at the top.
And I was going to go choc chip.
Lemon drizzle.
Oh, stop it. That'll have to be another card thing, because I haven't got any lemon on this one. Mum, when are you going to make me a lemon drizzle cake? That'll cheer me up.
You can come and eat it here.
More like when Dad stops buying plants. So, as it's now damp, we should get a nice strong brown colour. So we have a choc chip cake. Nom 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 nom. A bit more in there. Couldn't you just?
I could black me leaving the house.
Right, let's go back and just finish off this cherry.
And no calories. Yeah. Best sort of cupcakes.
Mind you, in current circumstances, I think we can stop counting the calories somehow. Does it really matter? Not really. So I'm just flicking onwards. And just go back to our ultramarine just to pull up in the shadow. And just tap it pop. And I'm going to use my oak to finish off this. That's done there and there. Now at this point you can decide that you don't want to do cupcake wrappers, or if you do, or you can paper piece them. The choice is yours. So, do I feel like being brave? May as well show you what I mean. While those are drying.
letters and I'll never count them in the first place. That's my problem. Lol. Yeah, well, I think we could all just eat a couple of those at the moment. It's
A little bit of what you fancy does you good.
chip shop's not open yet.
You're obsessed. So I'm going to go along the detail of my paper.
You need to scan and cut.
I am in a minute.
Yeah, but go just because I use the camera. Something to be back.
Okay. So I mainly inked just the wrapper. Italian off for getting in the light. And do it once more, so I've got a good clear image for where I'm coming out. Okay.
It's a good job I point my feet, you know. All those years of dancing have done me some good.
So these should now be drying off quickly. So when I'm trimming, I'm going to go right the way to where it's narrowest. So I can always come back and sort these out in a minute.
But you won't have your scan cut.
No, I'm cutting the other bit on scan and cut. Oh, you're going to expect my scan and cut to do this? Aren't you cool? Probably Roger's to show me up. Okay, next one. Okay. Gonna just wiggle it. Can you see that on camera, Ian?
No. Up a bit. No, not yet, Carol, because we had a night off last night. We turned it all off and just chilled, didn't we?
I chilled.
Yeah, through that, Natalie went to sleep on my lap and I sat watching telly. So no, we haven't had a chance to play with the lettering yet, but we will. Maybe have a look later or tomorrow for you.
For which bit?
Lettering.
Lettering.
Japanese lettering.
Oh yeah. I was still thinking fan and lantern.
Yeah, still got to do that as well. Gosh, it's very romantic.
More like very knackered. It's not usually like me, is it, to go to sleep like that?
most of your time asleep on the sofa on top of my small.
Okay, so I'm just going to follow this one now. This one isn't quite so fluted, so it's a little bit easier to cut. Around this edge here.
Yeah. God, it does it good to relax a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but especially when I'm not sleeping at night, it's just a case of I got comfy, didn't I, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the next one. Okay. Around this edge. Round up at the corner. Is Zena watching?
I think she was. I'm not sure why.
I was just wondering if she heard when I was saying about doing some streams with a mobile app this week, that's all.
Oh.
Because I know Zena's using the app version of
Did
Affinity.
she? That's what we know. We can make that stream, don't we? So.
Yes. Yeah. So I was going to try and do Affinity, a little bit of Procreate, and a little bit of Adobe Capture and things like that, so that we can then use to bring that into the Scan and Cut. Because that's a cool little application, isn't it? And you can create some really cool cut files with it.
Zena say good morning this morning. She did. I don't know if are you still watching, Zena?
Just let us know if you're still
Let me
watching.
know if you are.
So, try and get the right one for the right cupcake now. That looks like that one. So I'm going to go for the middle on this one, I think.
Yeah, we've done a whole hour without problems.
Yeah.
Shh. Touch wood.
This bodes well, so it was just the cable then, so hopefully. That we can sort. We can sort that one.
Yeah.
That's a customer service email, isn't it? So.
Yeah. Replacement.
Okay, so I'm just going to pop this down. Just want to make sure that you stick any fine points down, because obviously if the Scan and Cut comes around, you don't want it to catch. Okay. So I've put glue right on the tips, and I'm just going to use a bit of detailed glue applicator just to sweep it, just because I don't want them to lift and tear. So then I can go on to this one. And you could do the same with the pink dots as well. So we brought that through to the front. But I think for this one I'm just going to leave it as is. Just going to trim that a little tiny bit off, because I don't think it will stick successfully. Okay.
I'll drop Zena a message later because it's nice she's watching at the moment.
Okay.
Do we know what day we'll do the
Tuesday might be a good day.
Tuesday.
Because we're going to take a bit of a break, aren't we? Monday. Yeah.
We're going to try the messenger party.
Yeah.
On Monday.
Yeah, tea party on Monday.
Monday morning.
Yeah, and we'll do a cupcake card. Even more so than this one's a cupcake card. Going to let that dry for a second while I clear the space from the cut.
We're going to the scanning cut, are we?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be brave and get it to...
No. There we go. Camera change to scanning cut.
Okay.
Quite close on the screen, but it's so people can see what you do with the screen, but also what you do on the map.
Yeah. Well, you kind of need it when you're scanning, because otherwise you can't always see. And what we'll do, not go too far.
Don't forget the new maps.
Yeah. So cleaning a new mat's always fun, but it's got a few bits and pieces, so it's really light touch and kind of flick at it. Whereas before we do like a long roll. Okay. So I'm gonna just stick it in from the edge a bit. With scanning, you're always better to just move it in from the edge. So just so you can see what I've done. So there's the edge of our sticky area, and then we hit the inset from that. Okay, gonna unload my blade and load in my mat. And scan, and it's direct cut because we want to cut the cakes out of this card and not out of something else. I want to do it on the machine, and let's try colour and see how it goes. Okay, so now we want to frame our image. So I'm going to bring it right in there, bring it down a bit and in a bit. Okay. That's not done too bad. Got a bit of a weird thing going on by the cherry, but that is not too bad. So if we go down a notch in preview, let's see if we can get rid of that random little sticky section. Nope, more. Let's try the 2. Oh, no, we definitely don't want that because it's basically ignored all our white bit around here. So wherever there's a broken line, it's gone in between. So that's definitely not going to work, so we'll go back to 5.
I'll put in a little bit of a seam on it.
It's literally sticking up, so we can trim that by hand.
That looks better. It gets rid of it on the 2 at the top but not at the bottom.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So it's okay, we can go back to 5 and go okay. If you want to put an offset on it, we can. So on this one I think I will, but I'm just going to go to the 1 mil. And okay. And okay again. Go to cut. Oh, stamping card in. 5 or 6?
5.
5. So we're already on 5. Pop it in. And
did you fully tighten it before you?
yeah. And go. Cut. Okay.
Just check it.
So before you move it off your mat, you just want to make sure that everything is cut. And if you find it hasn't, which it hasn't there for some reason, you can just stick it back down. And I think it's where it's gone with the paper, so I'm just going to do one more go and pop it up to 6.
I'll leave it on 5 because you've already cut it once, so it'll,
Oh, okay, I'll go for 5 then.
you should just...
We'll see.
You don't want to go any deeper if you've already cut it through on one of them.
It depends on what section you're in. Didn't cut anything because you can hear it when it does. So,
Have a look.
I want to check first, but usually you can hear when it goes with that last bit. Nope,
Why is it cut one, not the other?
it's because it's got the paper piecing on it. So let's just take it up a notch. So we'll go up to 6. Okay, cut. Think about it. And slowly. There we go. So sometimes it just takes that extra notch and we can unload it. And basically what it's saying is if you unload the mat at this point, you won't get it in the same position again, but that's absolutely fine because I'm done. Okay.
Change back to the top.
Okay, so now I need my spatula that seems to have done a runner. I can see it. It's hiding. There we go. So we have one that's cut out perfectly and one that's gone a bit mad, but we can do that by hand. Not broken it yet then. Not broken it yet then.
Not the
Yeah.
stream. No, not yet.
So I'm just gonna wiggle it so it looks like it's all cut by the same thing. Nothing like faking a decal edge. And same down here where it's gone a bit. There we go. So hopefully to look a little bit more identical. You can see calibrations off slightly, but no, not a lot you can do about that. So in here I'm going to use a little piece of that same backing paper, I think, just to kind of mirror that border that we've got on the front. Come here, it's alive. Decide which way up we're going to go. Okay, we need it to be about wide, so I'm going to take it so that the foot is going to come down here. So as long as it's wider than needed, which it is, that's good. And you could be clever and you could do a border up to this point and then do fussy cutting if you wanted to. I think I might just try that. Scoreboard's going to go for it because it's not needed for the rest of it. So we'll bring in our ruler and our pencil. Going to drop it on the floor. Thank you, Ian. It was closer to you than it was to me.
Check your edges.
Yeah, it's fine. So I'm going to go. I want to make sure that with your grid that you're keeping it level to the edge, because we know that that's true. And go like so. Now, if you weren't going all the way to the edge, you could do this and trace around the outside and then get this kind of cut to do it for you, which is always tempting. And just to make life a little easier, I'm going to rotate this round this way so we can make sure that we keep these lines parallel. I'm going to come across here and then here and even in there for this one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Trim the base of the flower off, come into our little drawn line, go round our flower, well, the leaf, give it a little wiggle, and it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I'm just going to snip that bit off just to make it a bit easier to get into here. So from this point, I'm going to go wiggle, 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 wiggle again. So up to the edge of our pencil line.
We've got 10 minutes before pizza.
take me too much longer. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Back in here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And back down. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And because we can't cut this detail out, that's our natural stop point for this one. So there we go. And we can decide whether we're going to go to this edge like so, or if we're going to go to the edge of our bookmark. In this case, I'm just going to go up to that edge there. So I'm just going to trim it there to there. Before you do it, give it a quick a little bit just on that edge there. Yep, that fits nice. So I'm going to glue that down. Then what I will do, probably off screen now just because of time, is do a perforated cut line just from a bookmark. And then 3D mount the cupcake to the front of the card, but you want to keep this one flat, otherwise your card won't fold correctly. So we could go blue, or we can go pink on this one. I think I might go pink. So if you want to, you can lift up these leaves, which is what I think I'm going to do. Just slide it in there, so it looks like they're part of the design. With that stuck in there, we can get underneath with our glue. So I'm just going to put a line of glue dots upwards. And then we can put a little bit under our stem, like so. A little bit more. There we go. Then press and hold that for a minute. And then a little bit under each of these edges. One down. So with our front card, I'm going to go 3D there. And this 3D tape on when you want it quick. Right in front of me. Da. Da 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 da. Oh, come on.
Why are you trying to do that left?
Like so. And I'm going to leave it open sided just for when I put my sentiment on. So I'm going to go for a sentiment to go in here. So that's going to be a case of do that one off stream because I don't want to run over Pete.
Only because Pete's going to be entertained.
Yeah. So there we go. The stream held for an hour and a half nearly. So that's cool.
An hour and 22 without any problems. So
Yay!
it's just that one cable. So that.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much for joining us this morning.
Yep, and helping us while we're checking stuff.
Yep. And we'll see you all on Monday.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, look after yourselves.
Have a good weekend.
Yes. I'll go and chill out and relax a bit. We look forward to seeing you all on Monday.
Yeah. And I will pop up a picture of this card as well when it's all finished.
Carol says well done, by the way.
Thank you.
Back Monday?
Yeah.